It's timely what we're going to speak about next, because we were only talking on the show yesterday about rural isolation and loneliness and lack of rural transport based on that letter from a County Leitrim woman. She sent it into a national television programme, and we're going to talk about the rural social scheme now this morning, because the scheme is recruiting new participants and in particular is encouraging the wives and partners of farmers to get involved in a number of community-based roles in such areas as childcare and day centres for the elderly, administration and finance roles in community settings. We have a number of guests to talk to in relation to this and the recruitment process. Councillor Gerard Mullaney, of course, Sligo Fine Gael councillor, who's coordinator of the Rural Social Scheme, is with us. Camilla Lynch is a former Rural Social Scheme participant and a supervisor as well. And Michael Sweeney of the Ballymote Community Park is with us. We'll explain the relevance of Michael's attendance as well very shortly. Welcome to you all, and thanks for joining us. I'll start with you, Councillor Mullaney. What is the Rural Social Scheme, for those who don't know? It's been up and running now for over 20 years at this stage.
Thanks, Niall, for having us, and good morning, listeners. The Rural Social Scheme is a Department of Social Protection scheme that's delivered by Sligo LEADER Partnership, along with another 10 or 11 schemes that the company delivers that complements the Rural Social Scheme in so many ways. The Rural Social Scheme was set up 21 years ago, as you said. It was the brainchild of Eamon O'Keefe, and it was to add income to farming families and to counter social isolation. To get the people out of the houses that were living in remote rural areas. And it was also fisher people. Now, it was a very male-dominated scheme. And I'd say 90% of the people on the scheme in the early days were males.
Yeah.
Now, we aim to change that.
Yeah. How are you going to change that? So what is this whole new scheme all about, and how do you change that?
Well, we have been changing it, because we're now up to a third of the participants are females. Yeah. And there's huge opportunities there for females in a range of settings that we have in our daycare centres, where in Ballymote, for example, we have 3 females has come in there on the Rural Social Scheme. They have done all the HSE training, so they're fully qualified carers now, and they're providing a service to the older members of the community that comes in there daily and has entertainment and has food. The dinner was cooked in Cache by Clasp. There we had participants at a time as well that done the cook and got trained in HACCP and other trainers that you need for cooking. The food is brought to Ballymote and Turbercurry and our other daycare centres in a Sligo LEADER van that's driven by a Rural Social Scheme participant.
Okay.
So, to go back to the target of our campaign is the females, we have loads of admin positions. We have the caring positions I mentioned. We have the creches. We have people in, I'm just getting caught, in charity shops and in credit unions. So, like, they're all admin.
So it applies, and you're looking for partners and wives of those involved in the farming and fishing community, isn't that it?
Well, in Sligo it's mainly the farming community, and look, we have vacancies for males as well, but it's just to say that the focus of this campaign is for females. And to give an example now, we have participants that drop their children to school for 9:30. They work for 20 hours, and a week they have the afternoon then at home with their families, and when their families reach a certain stage they go into full-time employment, and there we can provide training, and we provide training through our own scheme, or assessed through our SideCap programme with Sligo LEADER, through our workability programme, through the HSE, DTB and the ATU. And we're always looking at new sources of training that will suit the participants we have to help them be more efficient on their own farms, or more job ready if that's their goal.
And do they get paid for this placement now?
They do.
They do.
There is a top up.
Yeah. Okay.
There's a top up to qualify for this placement. You have to be on job seekers allowance, job seekers transitional payment, disability allowance, one parent family. There's a whole range of means tested payments that qualifies it. You also have to either have a herd number or be able to associate yourself with a herd number. And what I mean by associating yourself with a herd number is if your father or mother has a herd number, you'll qualify, or if your brother or sister has a herd number.
Okay. But more importantly is the training and the skills that people
The training, the skills, the flexibility is very important. Like you can do 39 hours the 1 week, you can do 19 and a half hours the 1 week. There's total flexibility. If you do the 39 hours, you're off the following week. So you can go to another job, and we have many people that works in the building trade on the week they're off.
Okay.
So we have a lot of skilled people that supports communities in so many ways. And like we always put a big emphasis on countering the social exclusion and isolation and getting people in. And then we provide them, the supervisors provides them with assistance in filling forms and all sorts of advice. And at this stage, I'd like to mention our supervisors because they're a point of contact for people that wants to come on the scheme. And we have Geraldine Curran in the Tubbercurry area. We have Michael O'Dowd covers all West Sligo from Beltray back to Enniscrone. We have Mark Devaney that covers North Sligo, and he covers out as far as Riverstown, covers Strandhill and covers part of the town. We have Sean Madonna that does from Clonacooll across to Gurchin, Monastraden, Clonlow and Killarret, and I cover from Giva to Ballymote to Mullinabreen to Coolani and back to Ballintor.
All right.
So them is the people that any of our listeners that wants to come on to the scheme, wants to get to know more about the scheme, if they contact any of them people, they'll provide them with all the information and talk to them for as long as they need to be talked to.
Okay, well, Camilla, you're welcome. Camilla Lynch, you are a supervisor. You're a former participant as well.
I am, yes.
Isn't that right? Did you find it very rewarding?
I found it rewarding, and the reason why I joined the Rural Social Scheme was because it was really flexible. I had 3 small children, and I just couldn't manage the logistics of school runs, and the smaller ones weren't at school at that stage. They had all sorts of bugs and diseases, and you know yourself.
Usual,
So the usual, So the Rural Social Scheme, first I went on placement to Conran Mullinabreen Community Group, and I was helping them with the administration, with applying for grants. It's really vibrant, lovely community group. They have so many projects, and they were applying for grants. I was administering the grants. I was helping them with other projects they had. And then after 2 years there, vacancy became available in the office to run the RSS scheme itself. Well, administering the RSS scheme itself.
And of course, you had the experience then.
I had a bit of experience there. Now I had to step up a little bit because the Rural Social Scheme is run by the Department of Social Protection or funded, and POBL, so it is also audited. So I had to step up a little bit and get a bit of training. And as I was going through working in Ballymote, the time came that I was looking to go back to full-time employment, and that was, you see, everybody's circumstances are different, and sometimes people want to stay on the scheme for longer. For me, it was always the plan to move on back to full-time work, and Sligo Leader and the RSS funded me with a part-time course in ATU that I did, and based on that, later on, a position became available within the company. I did an interview. I was lucky to get the job, and I became a temporary supervisor on the RSS scheme. So I've seen the scheme from a different point of view than just
you
being.
You enjoyed both sides as well. You enjoyed your.
I enjoyed both sides. Yeah, okay. I enjoyed both sides. And when this temporary position came to an end, I applied for a different position, and I am on social inclusion at the moment. And you see, before I had children, I was in retail, and being on the Rural Social Scheme, it really enabled me to kind of take my time, maybe retrain, see what else I enjoyed. I enjoyed working with people. The social inclusion is really nice as well. You know, the rural social scheme was very beneficial to me, and I feel that there is a lot of women on the farms in the country that just can't commit to full-time work, and they would benefit.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Michael Sweeney is with us as well, and we were saying, Michael, you're involved with the Ballymote Community Park. So what's the connection between what you do and the Rural Social Scheme?
Yeah, so I suppose Ballymote Community Park is mainly outdoor facilities. Yeah. So in Ballymote we have a soccer pitch, a Gaelic pitch, an Astra pitch, walking trail, and we've got great plans obviously up there again for a new community centre, etc. going forward. So at the moment, I suppose the RSS provides us with participants, and they really allow us to maintain the premises. Yeah. So they do a lot of, I suppose it's more maybe labour intensive work, but grass is kept cut, trails are maintained, a bit of painting, decorating, all that.
Which is hugely important.
Very important for a voluntary community group that are reliant on, you know, funding from the government for anything that they do really, or some local fundraising. So we've seen a great benefit for our facility having participants there from the RSS scheme, and for them as well. There's great flexibility because from our point of view, because it's outdoor, we're weather dependent in a way. So if we have good weather, the participants are there, they can work away no problem. If we have bad weather, you know, they have that degree of flexibility that they don't have to work on a certain day. They can come in another day and they still get the work done.
Right, so it has worked well.
It's worked really well, and even for the participants as well themselves. You know,
and they have enjoyed it, haven't they?
They have enjoyed it.
They get,
yeah, they have. Yeah, and there's that social aspect as well. I mean, there's 3 or 4 guys there that are there on a regular basis. They get to know each other. They're working together. And they're getting a bit of training as well on an ongoing basis.
Because otherwise, because of the voluntary nature of that, it's hard to get people to carry out.
Well, we wouldn't be able to afford to do it, to be honest with you. You know, that's the bottom line. You know, obviously the materials that are used are provided by the community park, but the labour side of it, and we know that labour isn't cheap these days, no matter what way you go about it. You know, so it's a massive benefit to us, to be honest.
Yeah. And the tie-up with organisations like the community park, Gerard, very, very helpful, obviously. I mean, that's the whole key to this, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Like the Rural Social Scheme would not exist only for the community sector. Yeah. Only for those vibrant communities out there that needs help. And we never aim to replace that community organisation. We're only there to assist it.
Yeah. And are there more and more organisations, groups, becoming involved, getting interested and linking up with you?
Well, there is, but there was always a very good interest. Yeah. It's maybe at this stage, I suppose we're finding it hard to find enough of people to come on the scheme to support the community sector the way we'd like to. And we also support programmes in our own company, like the Rural Recreation Programme looks after the walks, and it's RSS participants are the people that does that. And like we have provided admin at times to Leader and to Sidecap and to... You know, there's other programmes where a participant with an admin skill would work in head office supporting those programmes.
Right, okay. Apart from the workplace, we mentioned training and how important that is, but there are a number of training and personal development opportunities involved in this scheme as well. Isn't that right? People can graduate to all sorts of careers and interests.
Absolutely. Like we source training like level 5 in early childhood care and education, healthcare assistant training. We have a number of people trained in that. Office administration and IT skills, hugely important to us, because groups now like Vitals, for example, need somebody that can provide admin, and we find it very hard to respond to those requests. We do first aid and manual handling. Customer service is very important for the people in a charity shop. If you spend a period in a charity shop, you do the training, the chances of getting working in a retail outlet are very strong then.
Yeah, okay. Right, okay. For those, so the qualification criteria again, Gerard, remind us.
You have to be on a means-tested social welfare payment. Job seekers allowance, Fairham Assist. There's a number of other payments there. They would be the common ones now that we deal with. Disability allowance, even some of the pensions.
Yeah, okay.
if you're on a widow's or a widower's pension.
Yeah, okay.
Up to the age of 66, you can come on the scheme and get the top up.
Okay, and as you said, Camilla, from your experience, you would encourage people to get involved. It's very rewarding, you feel.
Absolutely. It gives the flexibility, and also, and that's not a small bit, it pays the PRSI stamps for you while you're on the scheme.
Yeah.
Because if, say, women on part-time jobs, full-time jobs, they have to stop working, then there's a gap, and people don't think of that until they come closer to their pension age, and suddenly there's stamps missing. So that is also an important part to it. And then not only training, but also experience. When people are applying for a job later on, it's good to have an experience to put on the CV and say, well, I've done so many years in admin, I've done so many years in healthcare, childcare, and so on.
Yeah. All right, okay. So the application, people interested listening to this, Gerard, how do they apply? Sligo LEADER Partnership.
Contact our head office at 07191411138 or any of the supervisors or our Ballymote office.
All right, okay.
And I forgot to mention there was a review of the scheme last year, and there's a pilot programme to be introduced where a number of people that can't associate with a herd number will be allowed to come on the scheme. It's just waiting on DPAR approval. And there was also a suggestion of spousal swap where two people could come on the same herd number.
All right, okay.